Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing good. Sergio is saying it's evening here, Sherlock. That's why I'm saying good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all of you. That's why I say the same thing. All right, so it's going to be a very exciting live stream because BTC is dropping, Bitcoin is dropping, and we are in almost like 3 to 4 short positions. We are short on Dusk, we are short on RSR, and we just closed a short position on NULS. I don't know how would you pronounce it, but we recently closed a short trade on this coin in the challenge. Okay, so let me start the live stream by announcing something that's extremely important. Uh, for those of you who don't know, we recently started. You can, by the way, find all the information in the Discord. The link for the Discord, it's pinned right there in the live chat, and it's also right there, right below the description, right? For those of you who are watching for the first time and are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please make sure to do so. This really motivates me. And for those of you who are watching the live stream, please make sure to like the live stream also. If you would like to join the Discord, the link once again is in the live chat. It's pinned in the live chat, and it's also going to be down below in the description. And if you are not following me over Twitter, please make sure to do so. I just wanted to announce about the challenge also. We recently started this challenge, 1K to 5K challenge. I'm personally handling this challenge. It's only day 2 for the challenge, and we are sitting at $1,041, like around a 4% gain on the challenge, 4.1% gain on the challenge. If you would like to participate in the challenge, all you have to do is just click the link in the description, or you could simply just go to my Twitter profile and you can click on the Discord invite link. You can join the Discord server, and then you can simply just send the inquiry in the general chat, or you can open a support ticket and the staff would be telling you how to join the challenge. It's an extremely simple process, by the way. You can be a part of the challenge for free as well. All you have to do is just simply register on any of our affiliated exchanges, using a referral link, and then you can become a part of the challenge. So once again, it is an extremely simple process. So let's start the live stream. Let's pay attention to the topic part. Okay, so we are going to talk about September, right? And this is going to be a really interesting topic, because you would open up the crypto Twitter and you would find all sorts of different narratives about what exactly is going to happen with Bitcoin in September. And by the way, we are in 3 short positions. We are short on RSR. If during the live stream, if price hits this level at 0.004939, you can simply just move your stop loss to break even, and you can take TP1. And then we are in another short position on Dusk. I'm not really sure about this short position. Probably I would close it in small profits after the live stream, because I just got to know that Dusk, they announced about the launch of their mainnet. So it's never really a good idea when you're going against the fundamentals. So yeah, soon after the live stream, maybe I would close this in small profits. But in any case, we are short on RSR, and this one is going good. We recently closed this short position in the challenge. So what exactly is the reason for for this Bitcoin drop? Okay, so first of all, let's talk about this Bitcoin drop thing. For those of you who don't know, this was an extended weekend market. The US market just opened almost like 31 minutes ago, exactly 39 minutes ago. So as soon as the US market opened, we started seeing this drop in the Bitcoin price. And the reason for this was because, and probably I was mentioning the same thing over and over again, in my Discord server also, where I share all the updates. And once again, if you would like to receive tick by tick update, if you would like to receive all these updates, analysis, and everything, a more organized feed, then you can simply just join the Discord server. It's once again an extremely simple process. So, I was warning people about this recent price surge towards 59,700, 59,800. The reason for this was because, we had weekend, we had an extended weekend. Markets were closed on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because we had, we had the Labor Day off, just yesterday. So the markets actually were not open on Monday, which obviously meant that, this price moved towards 59,700 region. It basically happened on weekend. You can say that it basically happened on weekend. And I'm always saying this thing, that never ever trust the moves that are happening over weekend, because prices are heavily manipulated. The big players, they are not in the market, so market is heavily manipulated during weekend. So never ever trust a pump that happens on weekends. Hardly there are any pumps that, that last soon after the weekend. And also, historically speaking as well, whenever we had this sort of an extended weekend, always when the market opened, it was a dump happening. So historically speaking also, this was the same fractal that had to be followed, and the same exact thing is happening. But let's just, forget about the rest of these things. Let's just forget about the fundamentals and extended weekend and the rest of the things. The first thing, you would pay attention to is USDT dominance. Okay, so if somebody was saying, let's take a long on Bitcoin at 59,000, 59,500, remind them that, okay, the USDT dominance, it's sitting, just forget about the longer term outlook or the rest of the things. We would be talking about that part later. But just pay attention to USDT dominance. Okay, for the reason why actually I opened almost 2 to 3 short positions yesterday was because USDT dominance, it was sitting at this 4-hour support. Okay, this is first confluence. USDT dominance, it's negatively correlated with the Bitcoin price, meaning that if USDT dominance was sitting on support, there was no possible way for Bitcoin to simply just break above, right? At least by the looks of it. Then you can take a look at the BTC USDT.3s chart also. BTC USDT.3s chart, once again sitting right there on the support area, which obviously meant that another confluence you have, that Bitcoin is not easily going to break above 59,600 or $60,000 range, right? And finally, you have BTC USDT.3l, which as soon as price went to 59,700, it hit into this resistance area. Once again, another confluence. Now you have 3 to 4 confluences that Bitcoin was not easily going to break above 59,700, 59,800. The fifth one was in terms of extended weekend. We always have the same playbook every single year whenever we have extended weekend. And finally, even if you would look at the Bitcoin chart, you would notice that there was a high volume node on the 4-hour time frame chart present. We had point of control, price just hit into that point of control and then soon started falling back. And then you have this bearish candle pattern as well, right? Candlestick pattern as well. So, all of the things were pointing towards the fact that price eventually, it would be having strong rejection around 59,800, $60,000 region. And that's why, during the previous live streams also, I have said that I would not really be taking any long positions, any soon, because you would open up the charts for any of these altcoins and you would notice that, let's just take the example of Dusk, for example. Although the pump on Dusk basically happened because of the news about mainnet launch, but just open up the daily time frame chart. I know that, I recently shared this trade over my Twitter account as well, and people were coming at me saying that, you are taking a short position when there is such a big fundamental news. Sorry to say this thing, but I'm not a fundamental trader. I'm not someone who's trading on the basis of fundamentals. I'm a big believer of the fact that any information that you would need regarding any particular financial instrument, it's always available right in front of you on the charts. When the news, when the similar sort of news was there about almost like 2 to 3 weeks ago, price went up almost 20%, 30%. Every single person was taking their long positions, and all of us know what exactly happened. Price retraced that whole move of 20%, 30% immediately after that. So that's why, I'm a big believer of the fact, it's a controversial statement, but any information that you would need regarding any particular financial instrument, it's available always right in front of you in the charts. You need not to pay attention to the rest of the things. Okay, this is one thing extremely important. So the reason for taking the short on Dusk was also you would look at the chart and you would notice that price is moving in a downtrend. Once again, you had the sorry, this is break of structure, this is not change of character. So you had the break of structure. Okay, this is your major swing high, this is your major swing low. You know that price had heavy rejection from resistance area, and then you would draw fib retracement, and that's how the fib retracements are being drawn. That's how the tool is meant to be used. This is your impulsive wave. You would notice that price just hit into 65% fib level, although we had a slightly bad entry, I would say, because we should have taken entry at 65% fib level. I actually formed into this short position, but the point is that our entry, it was perfectly based upon technicals. It was perfectly based upon the thing that I'm seeing on the chart. So I'm less concerned about what exactly is happening in terms of fundamental news. Yes, it's a good idea to just keep track of all those things, but that's why as a very similar sort of structure you would be finding on every single chart. What was the reason we shorted this coin, nulls, whatever you would like to call it? Open up the 4-hour time frame chart. You can notice that you have impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave, and this was an impulsive wave. We closed it in challenge because Bitcoin, it's back on support. It's always a good idea to just play a slightly slightly have a cautious approach, especially whenever you are working on challenges. You need to play a little bit conventional. A lot many people, they start these kind of challenges, and you're trading challenges 1k to 2k, 1k to 5k, 5k to 20k, 50k. But the reason they are not able to complete those challenges is because they're always having the very risky approach. They're always trying to complete the challenges as soon as possible, but that's not how the trading accounts are meant to be grown. You need to take baby steps. You need to just book what's right in front of you on the screen. That's, and especially when it's about me, I'm a very conventional trader. I'm always just playing by the book, always just playing by the rules, right? So we shorted DeFi, we shorted comp, we shorted AI, we shorted TLM, NMR, Zeta. The list just goes on, right? I've been warning people over and over again that I'm not talking about BTC, I'm talking about the altcoins, that any pump that you are seeing on the altcoins, I recently tweeted about this as well. Any pump that you are seeing on the altcoins, it's literally just a good opportunity to build short positions, because market, just try to understand that market is always moving in terms of waves. Market is not like it's gonna go straight up or it's gonna go straight down, right? Market is always moving in terms of waves. You could have an impulsive wave, and then you would have a corrective wave. You would have impulsive wave, then you would have a corrective wave. Similarly, since if you are in any confusion, if you have any doubt in what in trying to take these short positions, just try to open up the daily time frame chart or the weekly time frame chart, and you would notice what exactly I'm trying to say. You have an impulsive wave and corrective wave, impulsive wave and corrective waves. All these pumps that you see happening every now and then, 10%, 20% on these altcoins, are simply just your corrective waves, right? And corrective waves, they are simply just corrections, right? They are simply just smaller waves in a downtrend, and they are meant to be building your short positions. All you have to do is, once again, just take out your fib tool, draw from the start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave, and try to take a short position at your point of interest, combining a few other confluences also. So once again, the point is that the pump that you are seeing on any of these altcoins, they're not meant to be they're not meant for taking long positions. They are basically meant for taking short positions, right? Because they are simply just corrective waves. That's why every now and then you would see me dropping short positions. I have not taken any long position. I don't remember taking any long positions for the past 1 month or so. I recently just abandoned the idea of taking long positions, because the structure of the higher time frame charts, it's looking absolutely horrible. But anyways, let's talk about BTC first of all. Some people, with this pump that happened, on weekend, some people were saying that, okay, this pump, it was because of this falling wedge. First of all, this may look like a falling wedge, but this is not really a falling wedge, because falling wedge, it's a continuation chart pattern, and it's a bullish continuation chart pattern, meaning that a falling wedge needs to be formed in some sort of uptrend. You have an uptrend going on, and then you sort of have this small falling wedge in which price would be just exhausted a little bit. That's not how a falling wedge basically looks like. It looks like something like this. But the point is that a falling wedge, it is basically meant to be drawn in an uptrend. It's not meant to be drawn in a downtrend. That's why it was not really a falling wedge. But you can look at this from two perspectives. Okay, I'm always, whenever I'm talking about chart patterns, I'm always telling people to not not try to understand these chart patterns as just random drawings. Instead of doing this, you should simply just try to draw these chart patterns. You should simply just try to decipher these chart patterns into their individual components. For example, people would say that, okay, this is a this that's how basically a ascending triangle looks like. Price is moving in an ascending triangle. They would be saying, I'm sorry, they would be saying that eventually price is gonna break above a descending triangle, right? Sorry, ascending triangle. But the point is that ascending triangle, first of all, it's a continuation pattern. Secondly, it is meant to be drawn in an uptrend. Okay. Similarly, a descending triangle, it's meant to be drawn in a downtrend. Finally, instead of saying that it's an ascending triangle, you could simply just divide it into its individual components, which is a resistance area and then a trend line. We know that if price breaks below the trend line, it's going to be a very impulsive break and we would be taking short positions. And we know that if it breaks above, you could call it an ascending triangle, or you could simply just say that price broke above a resistance area and now it has turned into a support region, right? So the point is that this was no falling wedge. I saw some people over crypto Twitter saying that this was falling wedge, and that's why education is very important. Please beware of the accounts that you are following over Twitter. Beware of the people that you are following, in your trading journey, because it's very important to have good insights and knowledgeable things, instead of simply just relying on half-cooked information. So this was no falling wedge, but this was actually two trend lines. We know that these sort of trend lines, they provide a good source of bounce. You had the first bounce, you had the second bounce, you had the third bounce, which further confirmed that, okay, this is a legitimate trend line. And we know one thing about trend lines, and then there was this another trend line also. Although we did not have three rejections of the trend line, but still this could be considered as a trend line. Not a very good example. We know that if price breaks above a trend line, it's always a very impulsive break. If price breaks below a trend line, it's a very impulsive break. So in this situation, price broke above the trend line. Okay, it was an impulsive break, and eventually all you have to do is, whenever you're working with trend lines, all you have to do is simply just draw a higher time frame resistance area, wait for price to get to that resistance area, and you can build your short positions. Similar strategy applies to these sort of trend lines also. You see price breaking below the trend line, draw a higher time frame support, and then wait for price to get back to that support and try to build a long position. It's a very famous entry model as well. Now, this trend line seems to have very much played out. Okay. Now, all eyes on this trend line, because, in my personal opinion, it's in the process of breaking below. Price is in the process of breaking below. It's very much a possibility that it would eventually break below. And if you would look at, if you would extend this trend line slightly, we are very fast approaching this trend line. And by the way, whenever price is sitting on a support region, a lot many people say that, okay, price is gonna break below that support area, it's going back to 54k. But a support, I always say, is meant to be treated as a support. I closed my short position in challenge on nulls. The reason only was because Bitcoin was sitting on support. I could have said that, okay, the first bounce was good, the second bounce was good, the third bounce was weak, the final bounce, it is also turning out to be an extremely weak one, right? And we know that whenever price is hitting into a level over and over and over again, that level is, actually becomes weaker only if the retracements are becoming smaller, only if the bounces or the rejections, they are getting smaller or weaker. And in this situation also, we can clearly see that this was a first bounce, second bounce, third, fourth bounce, and now price clearly is, this level is clearly getting weaker, because the price bounces, or you can say that the buying interest in this area is getting weak and weak and weak, and eventually price is going to break below this trend line. And we know that since a lot many people would be looking at this trend line, amateurs, beginners, similar was the situation right here also, they would be taking their long positions, and that's why there would be a lot many sell stops placed down below in this area, and price would eventually very impulsively break below this trend line. I'm warning you over and over again. If you guys remember my previous live stream, price was trading somewhere around here. I warned you against taking a long position at 62k support. Everybody on crypto Twitter was saying that price is not, when price was sitting at 65k, they were saying that it's not even going to retest 62k. It's going from 65k straight up to 70k. When price went down to 62k, they were saying that it's a generational opportunity. It's an opportunity to print generational wealth, because 62k retest is happening. I am the one who is always propagating the idea that the first retest is always a single best opportunity to take a long or a short position. But even in that case, I was warning over and over again that although this is the first retest, but please try to avoid this retest because you have a trend line information. And whenever we have these kind of trend lines information, price always very impulsively breaks below. You can go and watch that live stream and you would hear me talking about that over and over again. And eventually few hours later, we saw price very impulsively breaking below the trend line, and this was a very impulsive break, right? And I'm warning you with the same, in the very same exact tone, in the very same exact words, that we have this trend line information. Okay, price would eventually be breaking below this trend line, and it's going to be a very impulsive break, and there is every possibility that we could go down to $54,000, right? This is a very short term outlook, right? This is a very short term outlook. I'm not talking about the longer term outlook because I would be talking about that part later. It's slightly complex, right? The longer term outlook, it is slightly complex because you have too many factors playing out. You have September, you have rate cuts, you have the outflows into ETFs, inflows into ETFs, you have US election coming up. So there are a lot many factors that you would have to take into account. But the point at this at this level is that you have this trend line information. Although price is sitting above that support area, but at the same time there have been too many bounces of this support. I was saying the same thing. I recently tweeted the same thing about Solana's chart also, that the playbook that we had on ETH, it's very much going to be the same one on Sol as well. Because if you would open up the chart for ETH and you would go to the, let's suppose, 3-day time frame chart, you would notice that you had a very strong support at $2,800 region. Everybody was saying that $2,800 region. People with 500k Twitter followers were saying that $2,800 region is the best possible buying opportunity. But I was once again warning people that the more and more a level gets retested, the higher the chances that price is gonna break below or above that level. In that case, the same exact thing happened because there were so many long positions at $2,800 open, with stops placed down below in this area on liquidation prices in all this region. This was an impulsive break below, and all of these positions were taken out. Now, if you would open up the chart for Solar also, this is the same exact situation that we are looking at. First bounce, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. There have been too many bounces of this support level, meaning that the buying interest in this area, it's becoming it's increasing, meaning that more and more people are looking at this support and thinking that maybe price is never really going to break below that support. They're taking long positions, and the liquidation prices are literally down below these lows. Okay, and eventually what would happen is that price would very impulsively break below this area, break below this support area, and you could have a wick down to $82 as well. Okay, so if you are positioning yourself into any of these long positions, be very careful. Now if we would look at the 4-hour time frame chart, the same exact thing I'm talking about the Bitcoin chart also, that you have price retesting this support over and over again. And the important part is that you have this trend line information, and finally you have a you have the bounces getting weaker and weaker, meaning that the buying interest in this area is becoming smaller and smaller, meaning that price eventually would be breaking below this trend line and could fall back down to this level. Right now, let's talk about all of this in terms of structure. And by the way, there are almost 55 people watching the live stream. I would really appreciate if all of you are able to like the live stream. Just hit the like button. This would really appreciate me in creating more content for you guys, because this really motivates, right? Okay, so let's talk about all of this in terms of structure, right? I have said this thing previously as well when we were trading somewhere around like this area, 58,000, 57,000, almost like 2 weeks ago. I was mentioning that if you would look at the historical data for the past 7 to 8 months in terms of structure, you would notice a very important thing, that whenever price turns bullish, it remains bullish for quite some time, and whenever price turns bearish, it remains bearish for quite some time, meaning that a change of character is very much always followed by a break of structure, right? And it is at least followed by true break of structures, right? Look at all the previous instances. You had change of character, then multiple break of structures. You had change of character, 2 break of structures. You had change of character, then 1 break of structures. The same exact thing happened. You had change of character, and then you immediately had the break of structure. Now, you had major swing low at $56,000 region. You have major swing high at $65,200 region. It's extremely simple, right? Please pay attention to my words. If price breaks and closes below $56,000 region, if price breaks and closes a 4-hour candle below $56,000 region, then the whole market structure on the 4-hour time frame chart, it would turn bearish. And remember that if the structure turns bearish, it would remain bearish for quite some time. Now, I remember this instance. This was the exact same instance where I was confused, right? Almost, just before this 5th of August drop, the invalidation point for the uptrend, I remember it was at 63,200. And I was telling people that if price breaks and closes below 63,200, it would turn bearish, right? This is going to be a very interesting, very important live stream. Please, bear with me towards the end of the live stream, because I would be mentioning a few very important things in terms of USDT dominance chart and in terms of fundamentals also. This gets really interesting, right? This whole story. So, before this 5th of August drop, I was talking about, the invalidation point. The invalidation point, before that drop was $63,200 region. I was telling people that if price breaks and closes below 63,200, the 4-hour market structure, it's going to turn bearish, right? But at the same time, I was mentioning during my live streams that I don't know exactly how would this be fitting into the narrative of 60,000, 61,000 support, because price during the last upside move had not retested the 61,000 support, meaning that I was confused. If price would break below $63,200 region, it would immediately fall back down to 60,000 support, and this was supposed to be the first retest of $60,000 support, and the first retest, they hardly ever fail. But at the same time, I was confused, because if the change of character happens, they are always followed by breakout structures, and it was such a narrow range that either it was going to be a bounce from $60,000 support, or either it was going to be no breakout structure after the change of character, which is absolutely a very uncommon thing, because the change of characters, they're always immediately followed by breakout structure. And I was telling people that I'm a little bit confused around here. But anyways, the change of character happened, price broke below 63,200, and then it did not react at 60,000. The breakout structure happened, price straight away went down to $50,000 region. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this complete story is because, if you would look at few very important support levels, right? First of all, let's turn off all of these fundamental lines and let's only pay attention to MTF 200 EMA, right? This is your MTF 200 EMA. Now, MTF 200 EMA, we have seen this historically speaking also, that price has on the daily time frame chart has never broken below MTF 200 EMA. The first bounce, this bounce, this bounce, this bounce, all of them. You talk about 56,000 bounce, you talk about 53,000 bounce, you talk about 49,000 bounce, you talk about any of the previous bounces on the daily time frame chart, they have always happened at MTF 200 EMA, meaning that it acts as a very, very strong support level. Now, if you would talk about all of these things in terms of fundamentals, you would notice that if price, you have major swing low at 56,000, if price breaks and closes a 4-hour candle below $56,000 region, the market structure in the 4-hour time frame chart, it would turn bearish, but at the same time, price would be immediately falling back down to this very strong support area, meaning that you would have a sandwich situation. I usually call it a sandwich situation, a name that I basically invented myself, right? So, you would have that sandwich situation. And, from our understanding about the previous, from the historical data, we know that a change of character is always followed by a breakout structure, meaning that if price turns bearish, breaking below $56,000 region, it should remain bearish for quite some time. And what exactly do I mean by it should remain bearish? Meaning that, a change of character would look something like this. Price would break below $56,000 region. Then it needs to consolidate a little bit, and then it would once again fall back down below this level, right? A new low that would be created, meaning that you would have a change of character and then you would have a breakout structure, right? So once again, the point is that, slightly confusing sort of situation. Okay, the similar situation that we were facing at $63,200 region, but eventually we saw that the structure part proved to be a more efficient indicator. In this case also, although on the daily time frame chart we have MTF 200 EMA, on the daily time frame chart, if you would consider this whole move towards the upside as one big impulsive wave, it can perfectly be considered as one, because this was the high got created. This was a candle that created the high, and the low of this candle did not get a sweep, right? I don't know, how many of you understand the complete meaning of impulsive and corrective waves, but there are certain rules that need to be followed whenever you are marking these impulsive or corrective waves. Meaning that if you have to draw an impulsive wave, this whole wave should be considered. This is no impulsive wave. This is no corrective wave. This is not satisfying the conditions of a corrective wave. Meaning that this whole wave needs to be considered as an impulsive wave, right? And you can draw Fibonacci retracement, and you would notice that 65% fib level, it's perfectly aligned. 75% or 65% fib level, usually they are my point of interest. They are perfectly aligned with this MTF 200 EMA, and then you have a very strong horizontal support at 53k, 54k, meaning that in short you have every possibility of price bounce happening around here. But at the very same time, I do not understand how exactly this would be fitting into the narrative of market structure, because if price breaks below $56,000 region, market structure, it would turn bearish, and it should remain bearish for quite some time. That's the whole story. In terms of market structure, if price, ideally speaking, theoretically speaking, if price breaks and closes above, just bounces straight from here, breaks and closes above $65,200 region, that would be the ideal case scenario. But at least by the looks of it, I don't really see it happening anytime soon, since because this trend line is in formation, and we know that trend line breaks, they're always horrible, and price seems to be just breaking below that support area. We talked about all this in terms of the rest of the fundamentals, rest of the technicals also. We took a look at the USDT dominance chart, and before I take a look at USDT dominance chart, before I talk more about USDT dominance, because that's where things get absolutely messed up, things get absolutely complicated. And any of you who are watching this live stream live, I would seriously recommend watching this back again and try to develop an understanding of what exactly is going to happen in September. First of all, before I move on towards the USDT dominance chart, let me just talk about fundamentals also. Historically speaking, September, it has almost always been a red month for crypto in general. If you would look at the average, on average, we have seen almost 6.56% of drop in every September, right? On average, we have seen in Bitcoin prices 6.56% of drop from its peak to its trough. So a 6.56% decline. It's an average we have seen during the past few years in September. But another counter argument that could be given is that, historically speaking, whenever August it was a red month, September always was a green month, right? So in this case, all of us already know that September it was a red month. We had a bearish month in August, which implies that September this time in 2024 things could change a little bit, and it could be a bullish month. But I recently did this tweet almost like few hours ago. I did this tweet, and that's exactly the situation that we are in. The tweet is, if you would open up the crypto Twitter space almost like 3-4 days ago, everybody was saying that September, historically speaking, it has been a very bearish month, meaning that 2024 September it is also going to be a bearish month. But now you would open up your crypto Twitter feed and you would see an altogether different sort of tweets. So suddenly everyone on crypto Twitter is bullish about September, because everyone on crypto Twitter is bearish about September. So suddenly the narrative is saying that since everybody on crypto Twitter is bearish about September, because historically speaking September has been a very bearish month, and market always tends to do something that's least expected, and a bullish September is the least expected thing. That's why September is going to be bullish. So ideally speaking, we are saying that since everybody is bearish on the September, so everybody is once again bullish on the September, because everybody is bearish on the September, right? This is, I don't know how this statement actually makes sense to you guys, but that's basically the summed up scenario as of now. Everybody is bullish on September because everybody is bearish on September, right? That's the situation very much that we are in. So but historically speaking, we have on average seen a 5.65% decline during September. And things get a little bit more interesting when you take into account the September rate cuts also. We have we have meeting coming up on 17th of September about the rate cuts. The decision on rate cuts would be made, and market is anticipating very much that the rate cuts would be happening. The probability, I have not checked the recent probability, but that's somewhere around like 90%, 95%. Fed also, during last month's, he was in a conference, economic conference, and he mentioned he had a slightly dovish tone in which he mentioned that the rate cuts, he hinted towards basically the rate cuts, meaning that rate cuts now they are very much a possibility. And on 17th of September, the rate cuts could be happening. The very much awaited thing could be happening. But once again, the twist is that uh, you know rate cuts, ideally speaking, they would be a bullish thing, right, for the risk assets, obviously. But at the same time, we have seen in the past that whenever there is bullish news, whenever there is good news, market always tends to sell towards bullish news, right? Market always tends to be bearish as soon as there is bullish news. Market always tends to, react negatively towards the bullish news. Meaning that, the September rate cuts, they are definitely happening. Almost 90 to 95% probability there is that the September rate cuts would be happening. But at the same time, the market sentiment is that the rate cuts, they would be bearish, because the majority is expecting the rate cuts to be bullish. Theoretically speaking, the rate cuts are bullish, and that's exactly why price would be reacting negatively towards this bullish news. So this is the second situation that we are in. And finally, you would have to take into account the outflows also. The reason I was expecting the price on the Bitcoin chart to go down, because if you would go and watch some of my previous live streams, I explained the whole scenario, the whole situation, that why exactly the price on the Bitcoin chart has been extremely sensitive to the BTC ETF inflows and outflow numbers, right? I know that a lot many of you are looking at these things in terms of fundamentals. A lot many of you are looking at these things in terms of price charts. That's what exactly I do. But I would still recommend that you go and try to match the numbers, inflows and outflow into these spot ETFs, and try to exactly look at the price action also. You would notice that during the past, ever since the ETF for the Bitcoin got approved, price has been extremely absolutely sensitive to the inflow and outflow numbers. And during the past, till Friday, the outflow numbers, and on Friday the outflow was at $175 million, and we had the fourth losing day in a row, which obviously meant that Tuesday it's very much going to be bearish, and that's exactly we are seeing happening. The Tuesday it's happening to be bearish, right? So the outflow numbers, the inflow into these spot ETFs has not been good. We are seeing outflows from at least past 1 week or so, and we know that I don't know, a lot many people, they don't pay attention to this fact. But you would be surprised to know that price on the Bitcoin chart has been extremely sensitive to the inflow and outflow numbers. Every now and then you would notice this thing during the past 8 to 9 months, ever since the ETFs got approved. And finally, we have elections coming up. I was recently looking at the odds. The odds for Trump winning, they are once again above 50%. Once again, this could be a sell the news event. If he gets elected, people would be saying that, okay, market is reacting negatively to the positive news. So you have so many things coming up, and at the same time, the most of these things, they are bullish, but you have a mixed up opinion. And that's why I usually prefer to look at the charts, because whenever you're talking about the Bitcoin chart, you don't just have one chart to look at. You could simply just look at the Bitcoin chart and say that I'm confused looking at this chart, and you can look at the USDT dominance chart, or you could look at BTC USDT.3s chart or BTC USDT.3L chart. Now let's quickly take a look at all of these charts one by one. On the BTC USDT.3L chart, it's going to very much look same as Bitcoin chart, because it's positively correlated with the Bitcoin chart. Once again, you have this trend line information. Price was hitting into this resistance area, and when price on the Bitcoin chart, it was at 59,700. Just like I mentioned at the very beginning of the live stream also, there was no reason for you to take a long position. There was no reason for you to be optimistic towards market. A general outlook, in a shorter term at least, should not have been positive, because price on the Bitcoin chart, BTC USDT.3L chart, it was hitting into this, this resistance area. And if you would look at a few other things, let's quickly do that. I guess a few very important indicators also were pointing out. Okay, so yeah, so you had ELD VWAP present around here. Price was not only hitting into this very strong resistance area on BTC USDT.3L chart, but it was also hitting into this the yearly VWAP on the 4-hour time frame chart. Another reason for me, to not believe that Bitcoin in a short term could be positive. Okay, so let's take a look at BTC USDT dot 3S chart, which is, by the way, negatively correlated with the Bitcoin chart, which provides you a slightly different perspective. Once again, price was hitting back into this support, and a bounce was expected whenever, it's not just about this chart, it's not just about the Bitcoin chart. The mistake that people usually do is that they think of, they try to imagine odds in their favor. Like, they would be looking at this support and they would be thinking that, okay, price is going to break below this support area. And if you would ask them why, just because maybe they're long on Bitcoin, and despite knowing the fact that this chart is negatively correlated with the Bitcoin chart, if it is at support, this would generally mean that Bitcoin, it should get rejected, it should have rejection. But then these people would be saying that price is going to break below this support area. That's not how you do it. The support area, it's meant to be treated as a support area. The resistance area, it's meant to be treated as a resistance area. And in this case, price was back on support, so there was no reason for me to be bullish towards market. And people were saying that we should be closing our short positions, and I was slightly comfortable in my short positions. It's sitting at this support area. Once again, there is no reason for me to believe that price is eventually going to break below this support area. No other dynamic lines are present, I guess, around here. Yeah, so you had quarterly VWAP on the 4-hour time frame chart, another double confluence, providing you that price is not going to break above $59,600 region or $60,000 region anytime soon. Finally, you can look at the USDT dominance chart, and it's slightly complicated chart, although you had price breaking above the trend line. Price perfectly retested this trend line. I was warning people when price was down at this trend line, saying that please do not take longs on Bitcoin because USDT dominance, it's sitting at this trend line. And by the way, just a small just a small thing for you guys. This is, by the way, a very perfect entry model also. Sometimes the entry models, they could be as simple as that. Whenever you see this kind of trend line, obviously you wouldn't be trading the bounce of this trend line, right? And if you are someone who's saying that, okay, I'm not even going to trade the break of this trend line, perfectly fine, don't do that, right? Then you would wait for price to come back above this trend line, right? And then you would wait for the retest. And I'm telling you that if the price reaction does not happen, when by the time the price gives bearish retest at this trend line, there is every possibility that the price bounce would be happening around here. Okay, this is a very simple to follow entry model, requires no extra conditions to be followed. You have price breaking below the trend line, then it would go back up without reacting at the trend line, and eventually, as soon as it gives a retest, just go and backtest this strategy. Extremely simple and easy to follow. And by the way, for those of you watching the live stream, please make sure to press the like button. This is something really important, right? Only 39 people have liked the live stream, so all of you should immediately do it. So this is extremely simple to follow entry model, and the same entry model you can also see playing out. Just go and backtest this strategy. Extremely simple, extremely easy to follow. You had price breaking below the trend line, came back up, did not react at the trend line, finally came back up and retested this trend line, and it was a perfect retest of the trend line. You saw the bounce happening. On the USDT dominance chart, now, this is the last thing that I would be talking about, and then I would be taking a few questions also. On the USD, we know that the USDT dominance chart, it's basically negatively correlated with the Bitcoin chart, right? If the Bitcoin price would go up, the USDT dominance would go down. If USDT dominance would go up, the price on the Bitcoin chart, it would start going down. They are negatively or inversely correlated with each other. And they are usually in perfect sync with each other. Okay, this is the most interesting part about the live stream. The charts for USDT dominance and Bitcoin, they are usually very much in perfect correlation with each other. They are perfectly synced with each other, meaning that and they are synced with each other to the extent where, if on the 5-minute time frame chart the structure shift happens on USDT dominance chart, the structure shift also happens on the Bitcoin chart. If on the 4-hour time frame chart the structure shift happens, and by the way, as soon, this is the same exact meaning of sync, as soon as a change of character happens or structure shift happens on the USDT dominance chart, the same thing happens on the Bitcoin chart also, because they are very much in perfect sync with each other. But a very strange thing I recently noticed after 8 to 9 months, that price in the Bitcoin chart gave you a change of character on 8th of August, right? If you would look at the Bitcoin chart, the change of character happened as soon as price broke above this level, right? So you had the change of character happening on 8th of August after the 5th of August drop. But the change of character did not happen on USDT dominance chart, meaning that USDT dominance, it was still very much bullish, meaning that it did not give you a change of character. The change of character on the USDT dominance chart, it only happened when price on 23rd of August, almost a week ago, price broke below this level. And just to summarize this discussion, I would not make it a lot more complicated for you guys. I know that this could become slightly more complicated if I start talking about the conditions for structure shift and all that. But the point is that, to drive the point home, USDT dominance in this situation has a much bigger range to play. Meaning that usually if the change of character had happened somewhere around here, USDT dominance, it would have turned bullish by now, signaling that Bitcoin is gonna go down below. But the point is that first time during the past 8 to 9 months, both of these charts, they are not in perfect sync with each other, meaning that the change of character happened on the Bitcoin chart on 8th of August, and the change of character on the USDT dominance chart, it did not happen for the next 2-3 weeks, and it only happened on 23rd of August. And to summarize this, it has a much bigger range to play, meaning that you have major swing low, present around here, and you have major swing high present around here, meaning that on the USDT dominance chart, the structure, it's very much bearish. And even you would draw Fibonacci retracement from the swing high to the swing low, you would notice that price could just be going to retest this 65% fib level, which would mean that price on the Bitcoin chart, it would go down to $54,000 region. And if USDT dominance gets rejected from around here, since it's bearish, it should have a rejection, Bitcoin would be bouncing from $54,000 region. But once again, this is an extremely complex situation, because one of these charts could be wrong. We are seeing that if price on the Bitcoin chart breaks below $56,000 region, the structure on the Bitcoin chart, it would turn bearish, right? But at the same time, on USDT dominance chart, if it goes up to this level or this level or this level or this level, it's not going to turn bullish until and unless it breaks above this level, until and unless BTC breaks below $49,000 region. Meaning that I'm trying to give you a slightly different perspective, that even if Bitcoin goes down to $54,000 region, USDT dominance, it's still going to remain bearish, because it has slightly bigger range to play. And the only reason why Bitcoin could be going down to 54,000 is because USDT dominance has to give a bearish retest at 65% fib level, because that's the whole definition of retest also. Usually the retest, they always happen at 65%, 70.5% fib level, meaning that even if Bitcoin goes down to 54,000, it could perfectly bounce from there, because not only, forget about the structure, not only there are so many confluences in terms of dynamic lines, horizontal lines, in terms of horizontal support area present around here, but also the USDT dominance could also be supporting that narrative, supporting that theory, because USDT dominance, it's still bearish. It turned bearish only on 23rd of August, and it's not going to turn bullish until and unless price breaks above this level, which means that until and unless BTC breaks below $49,000 region, things on the USDT dominance chart are in your favor if you are taking long positions. That's it. Maskin is saying, like the live stream, it don't cost nothing to press that like button. Yeah, definitely. For those of you who are watching the live stream, this is the exact same thing I'm talking about. It wouldn't cost anything to press the like button, but this would really, this would really motivate me to bring new content for you guys. But don't you think the market has already priced into the rumor? That's what exactly I'm trying to say. The market has already priced in. It's not just a rumor now, it has become very much a possibility. It has now very much become a reality that the rate cuts, they are going to happen on 17th of September. And that's exactly the narrative, that the rate cuts, in theory, they would be bullish for the risk assets, but in actuality, they're going to be bearish, because that's now very much a priced in event. Sergio is saying, should we hold our spot bag we filled above the sky when we should DCA on ETH? For example, our averaging entry point is about $3,100. ETH is trading below, ETH is trading below, $2,800 resistance. There is no reason for me to believe that ETH would eventually break above $2,800 resistance area, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. people on the crypto Twitter space were literally just being, you know, shitting ETH, saying that ETH is a shit coin, ETH is literally just not going anywhere, when they were taking the long position at $2,800 region. I was saying that open up the daily time frame chart and you would look at ETH and you would notice that this is such a big level, right? It took us almost 8 to 9 months, almost 7 to 8 months to break below this level, to break below this support area. And you think that, the bulls defended this level for almost 8 to 9 months, and now bears, they would immediately give up on this level, especially when it's such a higher time frame level, a weekly 3-day time frame level, and especially when price is giving the first retest at this level. This was always going to be the perfect slap, right? This was always going to be a perfect rejection. The same exact thing happened around here. I literally missed this short trade by almost like $4 to $5. But the point is that ETH was always going to have strong rejection around here, and you would see ETH performing good in a longer term. But if things start getting rough, I'm telling you, $43,000 Bitcoin, $1,800 ETH, and $80 Sol, please do not miss on this opportunity. I know that I might be sounding slightly bearish on this, but if you happen to have this opportunity, I'm not a magician. I'm not saying that this would be happening in any case. I'm just saying that if it happens, please do not miss that opportunity, right? This is going to be, once in a lifetime opportunity for you. Please analyze one chain and BCH. I don't know about that chain. I'm sorry. This live deserves more like and share, guys. Non-biased analysis. Thank you so much, Fortin. Thank you so much. Any chance we short Sol? Would you share on Twitter? Now, once again, I was doing another live stream and people were asking me, would you be taking a shot on Sol? Guys, first of all, pay attention to my statements, right? A support is a support as long as price does not break below. A resistance is a resistance as long as price does not break above. There is no reason for me, I would be stupid taking a short position on Sol, because we are on the daily time frame chart. Look at this area, I know that Sol is not looking good. I know that eventually there is 70% probability that price would break below this support area, because that's what the theory tells us. But, you are sitting on support. I cannot go against my rules that I have established. Why would I be taking a short position on support area? Let's take the example of Bitcoin chart. I recently shared in Foxian, in my Discord server, I shared a short trade on Bitcoin yesterday. Our first entry, it was at 58,600, and our second entry, it was at 59,500 or something like that. I closed that trade break even after a few hours, because I realized that although there were too many confluences that price would have a strong rejection, and I just stated all those confluences to you, but I realized that I was taking a short trade at the support area. Okay, meaning that I was going against my own established rules, meaning that I was doing a stupid thing. Even though I believed that price would eventually be going down, but I realized that you are taking a short position on support. That's not how things usually work. Even if I believed that, why did I not take a short position at 61,000, 62,000? I was the one telling people that, screaming this thing over live stream that price is going to break below this trend line. It's going to be a very impulsive break. Why did I not take a short position myself? If I was that sure. The reason was the structure was bullish, and secondly, price was sitting on a support. You need to respect all these facts. So, with Sol, I wouldn't be taking short position until and unless it breaks below, consolidates a little bit, comes back, retest, and that's going to be a very longer term scenario. On average, how much time a challenge like 1K to 5K is completed? It should take no less than 90 to 100 days, I would say, almost like 3 months. By using the approach that I am using, a very conventional approach, it could take slightly, greater amount of time also. But, just like I mentioned at the very beginning of the live stream also, the important thing for me, remember this, the important thing for me is not to rush this process, not to complete this challenge in a hurry. I could simply just do that. But, I'm a very conventional trader. I simply just usually try to play by the book, and I would be, trying to approach this challenge in the very same manner. So that's why I'm not going to rush the process. So what about dusk? Should to close it already? As soon as the live stream ends, I would be, mentioning about dusk. I might be trying to close it. I might be closing it break even, because once again, there is some bullish news about it. Although, the chart looks good. The chart on the daily time frame chart looks good. but I was expecting a slightly greater and strong amount of rejection, which has not happened as of yet. Look at Bitcoin, does has stayed a little bit steady even with this Bitcoin drop, meaning that we will need to have a slightly cautious approach. We already have a short position on RSR. We already are going good in September. We had almost like 4 to 5 positions. All of them were profitable. We have 4x4 win rate, for September. So I just don't want to rush anything. RSR, it's doing good. You can take TP on RSR. First TP, it's already 4.3% down. Nulls we already closed. This was a challenge trade. I had to close it once again because I just wanted to play a little bit safe. I just wanted to, just get done by this. Does, once again, I'm not sure. I would be closing this break even. So if you are in Dusk, you could close this break even. It's right there at the entry. And could you repeat the equivalent of ETH level once BTC has reached 43K? $1,800 ETH, 43,000 Bitcoin, and $80 Sol. Please do not miss this opportunity. Mark these words. If this comes, you could simply just, watch this video and, get an idea that I said this thing. How much positions can you have in the same direction? Not more than 3. I usually try to balance my risk. I usually try to keep my open positions to 3 in one direction. And can you have more trades if your trades are break even? Yes, obviously, if your trades are break even, they are definitely risk free, meaning that you could have, let's suppose if you have 3 open trades and all of them are stop loss break even, then you can definitely open more positions, right? Because open 3 more because they are definitely risk free. That's perfectly fine. I guess that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. This was all about my perspective on Bitcoin, about what could be happening in the month of September. We have three short positions open. There are a few open on Injective also. I seem to have missed a very good short position on Injective. This was my take on Injective. We have one short position open on from $21. By the way, this was only shared in Foxy in my Discord server, not elsewhere. I did not share in Twitter or anywhere else. I was trying to build this short position, seems to have missed this one, but anyways, few other short positions also open. Once again, if you would like to join the challenge, we have 1K to 5K challenge going on. This is the second day of the challenge. We are sitting at plus 4%. All you have to do is simply just click the link in the description, join the Discord server, or just go to my Twitter account. Sherlock Vale is a username. Follow me over there. Join the Discord server, open the support ticket, and you could be a part of challenge. People were, requesting me from almost like 2 years to start this challenge. It took me quite some time because I have so many things to do, Discord server to manage. I usually, live streams to do, and, trading also, sharing setups and everything. I was slightly reluctant on trying the challenge, but, now I have finally taken the step towards this. So, I would really appreciate if you guys are able to join the Discord server and be a part of this challenge. Again, you could be a part of this challenge for free as well. All you would have to do is simply just register using one of our partner exchanges, using a referral link, and you can join the challenge. The last question about the challenge, the percentage per trade is 2. In the challenge, I shared the complete details. Let me show you 1 second. Okay, so that's how the complete details are shared in the challenge, right? You can clearly see that I mentioned the complete screenshot with the entry price, with the margin being used, with the size being used, with the second entry being mentioned, and with the position size of the second entry. And I just try to update as soon as the position starts going in. You can clearly see that just before starting the live stream, I closed this position with small profits because I just wanted to pay attention to the live streams, right? So once again, you can join the Discord server and you can simply just join this challenge. Okay guys, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. If you did, and if you are watching the recording of this live stream, please make sure to just hit the like button. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please make sure to, if it's possible, share this live stream with your friends also. Thank you so much. Take care and have a great week ahead. Thank you. Bye bye.